Hi, I'm Silvano, and in today's tutorial I will show you step by step how to sketch a Mary Jane. I'm using an iPad Pro and an app called Procreate. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. And now, without further ado, let's begin. Trace a line and a perpendicular one. Now determine the length of the shoe and a half point. And now the heel height that you desire. Now from the heel height to the middle point, and then from there, lifting about 4 or 5 millimeter is your toe. And then a 90-degree angle, determine the back height. And then from the back height, straight line to the toe. And another 90-degree angle at the breaking point. Now divide the length of the shoe by 4. So 1/4 of the total length would be your vamp point, and then a straight line to the toe. And then from the back all the way down to the middle of those 2 points. And now I can start to sketch the toe. In this case, we'll make it a little rounder in this case. A round toe Mary Jane. And then I sketch the bottom of the shoe and round the breaking point between toe and instep. And now the instep, curving it a little bit as you see here. And from there, the back. And now I just trace the instep going up, the instep of your foot, the instep of your last. Now the heel. I want to make a straight, chunkier heel. So a straight point, determine the length of your heel, and then design the shape as you like. And we'll do a rounded, cupped heel. And then the bottom of the heel and the top lift. And now the inside, although it's profile, you still want to show a little bit of the inside of your heel. The vamp point, and now we'll make a round throat line, and then from there all the way up to the back of your shoe. And even here it'll show a little bit of the inside of the throat line. And from the back, I join the line, as you see here. Okay. And now our strap, to make it a Mary Jane. You decide the width that you like the best. We'll make it a medium size, and the end of the strap will make it taper a little bit so it goes through the buckle easily. And now we design the buckle. In this case, I want a round buckle. You can decide the shape that you want, and the center hole. Now the sole, it's going to be a leather sole, very thin, and it goes under the heel. Now I want to curve a little bit in the back the heel, a little more, so it's a bit more feminine, it's not as clunky. And I lower the opacity of this sketch, and now I ink it. In this case, I want to use the same pencil that I was using, but I'm perfecting the lines. I'm making all the adjustment that I need to make, and I try to keep the line as steady as possible, so it's nice and clean sketch when I'm finished with this layer. Same thing all over around the whole shoe, trying to keep the line steady adjust it where is needed. The bottom of the heel, the top lift, and now the inside of the heel. There you go. And now all the way, the whole shoe, the strap, and the buckle. I now click off the initial layer, leaving just the clean sketch, and I fill the inside. I'm using black in this case, and the top lift. Now I'm tracing it again to soften the line using the airbrush. You see now the shoe becomes a little softer. Instead of just a pencil or a pen line, using the airbrush, it makes it a little softer, a little rounder, like the last would be, like a real shoe would be. So I like to use that airbrush about 5 and an opacity of 12 I usually use. The sole, and I want to stitch. I'm using the pencil, HB pencil, and I stitch all around the shoes. In this case, I want to have the stitch maybe a 4 or 5 millimeter from the edge on the throat line, and I will stitch instead on the edge the strap. And now we start shading. Again, using the airbrush, you adjust the width of the airbrush as you desire, and you start shading to round off to show your last. It's not flat. Make it look more like the real sample. And here is black and white. We will use color in the next tutorial. Around the back, and close to the stitch where the light would be, and there you go. See, it makes it look more real, more round, more like the real shoe at the end will look like. And now the strap, the shade around the buckle, leaving the center white so it shows that it is a little rounded. And the same thing for the heel. That's around the back of the heel, showing the dark line and leaving white where the light hits. Always using the same airbrush and just adjusting the width of the airbrush as you desire. And now a little bit of white on the black. So here is where the light hits on the top lift, and it shows the edges of the top lift also on the inside, and the edge of the top lift. And now if you want, I sometimes draw the ground so it becomes even more realistic. And there you have it. Mary Jane, high heel Mary Jane with the cup heel. Thank you.